That is a raw ass song. I forget who sent that to me, but I'll have to look it up and put it in the description for you guys if you guys are down with that kind of music. I don't mind it. I mean, I like all types of music. Everything from... The only one I don't really like is country. I hate to say it. Some people really like country. Me specifically, no. I don't mind like the old rockabilly country kind of stuff, like Johnny Cash-esque, era. Anyway, we're getting off track. Thank you, everyone, for your replies on Twitter. If you aren't following me yet, check us out at Deadsens. That's a good place, good way to keep in contacts, and that's with me. And that's kind of where I'm going with this next statement. I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that's stuck around. I did a mass cleanup yesterday. I was followed by, oh Christ, there must have been 16,000 plus people that I had on my following list that the majority of them seem to either be dead accounts, like they don't post, they don't have anything of any relevance whatsoever. The second thing being they are mainly just spamming. I know a lot of people use Twitter to get what they're trying to either sell or get rid of or promote as their source of a what's the word for that? Sort of a just basically a promotion thing, But for most of us who are part of Twitter, we find that to be extremely annoying. But we all got to get our name out somehow, right? I mean, that's what social media is some people just like to abuse it a bit more than others. So that's what yesterday was about. I did a mass cleanup. I had something like 16,900 followers that I was following, but only about 150 of them were real, legit, active followers like you guys that are probably listening to this right now. So again, thank you. This video here is kind of going back to the original reasons why I created my YouTube account, and that was the social interaction part of it, This is kind of a strange way to meet new people, but it also is a good way to meet new people, fellow gamers. I mean, I love video games. Call me a nerd. I love video games. I mean, there's no other forum that I have in my life that I can look at and be like, I want to do that, or I can't do that in real life, so I'm going to do it in a pretend life, without going to the extreme of living a second life. For instance, that game, I think it was called Second Life, if some of you guys have heard of that. That one kind of took me, I never played it, but that one kind of took me to a place that in gaming that I thought was kind of strange, like living in your basement, working 8 hours a day just to pay for your gaming experience or your second life. And to me, that's a little on the creepy side. But hey, I'm not for everybody. This isn't for everybody, right? So anyway, this is the Q&A sort of things where you guys send in your questions, and like I say, this can be about absolutely anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's how many times have you done jumping jacks? Like, I don't know. I'm off the top of my head, this is the first thing. I don't know why jumping jacks. I don't exercise. I probably should, but that's one of the first things that sort of came up that, hey, it can be anything. It's for anybody, for anything, of any question. So feel free to ask me on Twitter. Like I say, I put out a request this morning for your guys' questions, and these are some of the ones that I got back. So first one goes to @TreyCrank. What is your favorite type of video games? Well, as you can see, this is Battlefield 4, and you know, to me, first-person shooters is, you know, the most enjoyable game for me. I find that I can, you know, it's a good step back from reality. The only thing that I would say is, I mean, this game's damn realistic. This is about as realistic as you're gonna get. This blows Call of Duty out of the water, in my opinion. I mean, there's jets, there's quads, there's helicopters, there's 64 players online. This is the Xbox One version as well, and they've now stepped it up to where, you know, they have gotten it to that point. So, answering the question, what is your favorite type of video games? That would be it. First-person shooters is hands down one of my favorite. The next one comes from @Acadius. I believe that's how you say that. Do you believe that the first-person genre is becoming stale, or have gamers suffered Call of Duty fatigue? Wow, that is a loaded question. I've been playing Call of Duty since, I would say Call of Duty 3 on PC, or would be the first one that I ever did, but the most that I put time and effort into would be Call of Duty 4. I mean, I remember coming home after work and just countless hours, days and nights, staying up late, losing sleep the next morning because I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning playing Call of Duty. I mean, anybody who got to experience that, I mean, that blew everybody and all my buddies right out of the frickin' water. I mean, that was an amazing transition for gaming. So, you know, to me, I would say that out of the two, you know, you look at Call of Duty and Battlefield, Call of Duty hasn't really made a big progression. They haven't really progressed into too much more than, and these are just my opinions. These are just, as a gamer, my opinions. You know, Call of Duty, even Ghosts. I have Ghosts on Xbox One, and I was expecting that to kind of blow me away. Well, turns out it feels and looks exactly like Call of Duty 4. You know, they didn't do anything that really blew a person out of the water. I keep saying that, but that's kind of the aspect that I can look at. I mean, you look at Battlefield and how far they've progressed. You know, I played it on Xbox 360. I played it on PC. I've been a Battlefield fan since 1942 came out. You know, and even before that, Battlefield 2, I believe, was before that, or maybe it's the other way around. I can't remember exactly. But you want to talk progression. Battlefield has come a long way. You know, we look at the old consoles, Xbox 360, where you could play Battlefield 3, for instance. I mean, that game was good, but it wasn't like the Twitch shooter that most people seem to be enjoying. You know, that's what the Call of Duty was. But Battlefield, it was, I believe it was 30 frames a second. It was really hard to get into that on the console side of things. PC, completely different aspect, but I'm talking more consoles, being that that's where most of my focus is now, is console gaming, now that this next gens have come out. I mean, they are, I can't tell the difference between my PC version of this game and the Xbox. So, being that I like controllers, I play the Xbox version. So getting back to the question about, you know, have gamers suffered Call of Duty fatigue? I would think, as far as the Call of Duty side of things, then yes. Oh, that's my dog squeaking in the background. Sorry about that. Call of Duty, yes, I would say has given us a fatigue, but Battlefield, no. I believe, in my personal opinion, that Battlefield 4 has finally brought it to the next level. You know, this is 64 player online. This particular game mode isn't. This is squad deathmatch, which I felt didn't do too bad, but the progression on that was massive. You know, now we're up to 60 frames a second on the console version of this. You've got the 64 players. The graphics, I feel, are better. There's more weapons, vehicles. There's not so many of those COD fanboys, as they're called in the gaming community, where you can only really talk with the squad that you're in. So you don't get a lot of haters out there, and that's kind of what was discouraging about Call of Duty was, we sort of got a lot of haters. So hopefully that answers your question. Call of Duty fatigue, I would say yes, people have suffered. So, great question. Thanks, Acadius. Next one comes from @HoboJim. Favorite game franchise? Well, again, good question. But as you can see, I'm playing Battlefield 4. I've been I guess out of all the ones that I can think of off the top of my head, DICE would be the best. Yeah, sure, they've got their problems right now and server issues and this and that, and EA servers getting hacked, so they ended up getting cut from the server list and blah blah blah. A game of this magnitude's bound to have issues. So for me, yes, the DICE software developers of Battlefield specifically. I'm not sure if they do anything else, actually. I've just played the Battlefield from them. But that is hands down my favorite franchise of all time. So great question, Hobo Jim. Thank you. Next one comes from @LimsGamin. What's the furthest you've ever been from home? Well, the furthest I've ever been, in one word, Vietnam. Now, some people might be thinking, what kind of place is Vietnam? Why would you go there for a holiday? I mean, people think of Vietnam as this war-torn country that hasn't recovered from the Vietnam War, and that's that. I will tell you, as a traveling individual, that Vietnam is completely flipped from what our North American side of view is on that country. It was amazing. I mean, everything from the cost of beer to the cost of clothing, the cost of massages. No, I didn't get any of those happy endings massages. I did go for a lot of massages because they were $5 for 2 hours. Why wouldn't you want to go for that, right? They got some funny ass named money. It's called dong, D-O-N-G, and you feel like you're high rolling when you go up to an ATM machine and you pull out $200, US or Canadian, whatever, and you get a stack 2 inches thick of bills. I mean, their money is, I think it's 20,000 to 1. So when you pull out $1, it's 20,000 dong. That just goes to show you the difference. But beers were 40 cents. Like a premium high grade beer like Heineken was 40 cents. Like I was saying, the massages were $5. The clothing, all our clothing in North America comes from those areas. So we don't have to pay for that high-end shipping, the cost of getting that stuff out here. They make it there. And the reason why we pay $150 for a set of Lakai skate shoes is because of the shipping costs to get it out here. Speaking of those, I bought a pair for $20. They may not have been the same, but I'm pretty damn sure those shoes lasted me 2 years. And I don't do a whole lot of skating. I just like skate shoes because they're comfortable. But they make it all there. They ship it all here, and we buy. That's how the whole thing goes on, right? So, loved it. I would go back in a heartbeat if it wasn't for the fact that it was a 14-hour flight and my wife was in tears 5 hours into the flight. I had to pump her full of gravel and say, go to sleep. It was a brutal flight. And I'm a 6'2" guy. I'm pretty big. And to be sitting in economy seating for 14 hours, I tell you, that gets a little tedious. So I seen her crying, and I kind of thought to myself, maybe I'll just shed a tear for this United Airlines. By the way, biggest freaking airplane I've ever been on. I think that was a double stacker. There must have been 300 to 500 people on that plane. It was crazy, crazy. But thoroughly enjoyed it. As you can see, we're coming to the end of the video, or here anyway. With Battlefield, they start playing the music when the game's coming to an end, and there you go, boom. Your team lost. It was a loss, but to me it was a win. So hopefully that answers your guys' question. Thank you again for watching, everybody. And if you haven't subscribed, please show some support. You know, I'll keep doing these as long as you guys enjoy them. And again, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Have yourself a good day. Peace.